It's a good job that I did some reading, because I made many mistakes in this farm building. It turns out that although zombie piglins will spawn here for my gold farm, in the Crimson Forest, they don't spawn very often. And I also learned that these hoglins, they don't like warped fungus. Oh, so many of my problems would have been fixed by reading. Just reading a small amount, and I would have saved myself a few hours work, because this is essentially a dead space now. So I've wasted a lot of time. But that's not a problem, because I found a new location. Now, where we need to build this is the nether wastes. And I also want to show you something. So, obviously flying around the nether like this, you can't see anything. It's actually quite annoying. You can't see much. And I was like, how am I going to find a new location? Well, in Optifine, there is an option to turn the fog off. Jeez! Look at this! The nether is completely different. In fact, I think that's a bastion over there. It looks 100% different. And there are no particles around. I wish there was a middle ground where there was just fog in the background, like really far away, instead of immediately in your face. But it's either all or nothing by the looks of things. We've got to go and check out this bastion. There is a big pile of gold with my name on it. Wow. And I think that was in the shape of like a hoglin or piglin, because they look like they could have been tusks. I gotta say, these bastions are pretty cool. Oh my goodness, it is completely transformed what the nether is like. There are still some particles around, actually. It's just the fog is gone. Anyway, what I was looking for was this. The treasure rooms. Crying obsidian. I need that to make a respawn anchor, which I definitely need to do. And another one on the other side. Oh my goodness. And of course, doing a little bit more research, and I mean, people were screaming at me in the comments, you just gotta wear one bit of gold armor on your booties or on your head, and yeah, the piglins don't attack you either. Whoa! And a soul speed book. So with this fog gone, I'm now able to locate a new place, and I think that I found one. Unfortunately for me, I haven't come prepared again, and I'm out of rockets already. However, I do believe that I have found one just over here. It's only like 200 blocks away, and there is a enormous nether fortress around here. So, not only do I have the nether waste biome, I've got a nice open area here, which I can do exactly the same thing, my upside down base. And it has more biomes for me to use. So I think this could be the place. In which case, what we need to do is make our way up here and change the coordinates for the bedrock to be broken. I'm officially out of rockets as well. So we're going to have to dig upwards. And I think I'm just going to make... I think I'm going to make a tunnel so that I can just fly back really easily. I am so unorganized. So let's start mining all the way back to my portal. I made it back to my base, and I have created the world's best unintentional mob farm. That is dangerous. Really, really dangerous. No, 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 no. Look at that. Absolute carnage. Anyway, I have finished the portal. Oh, and the carnage has been going through the portal. The carnage has been going through the portal. No. So, to get to my base, all you gotta do is go straight past the spawn portal, and it is right here. Now, this is a really, really long tunnel, and you've got to keep flying all the way. If you stop, you cannot start flying again. So you've really got to keep it up. And just to prove how long it is, it takes a few minutes to just fly through it. It just keeps going and going and going until eventually we make it. But the worst thing is, I've spent ages, and you saw how Someone needs to make a compilation of all the weird noises that I make. Now, you just saw how long that tunnel is, and it took a long time to dig out. And then I get back just to find out Impulse has done the job of breaking the bedrock. I can just fly over the top now. The Nether project isn't going so well. It's just a series of frustrating events. But now we are fully kitted out. I have got rockets galore. I have got my magma blocks. I've got everything I could possibly need. All I have to do now is actually just get started on this base. My new location is here in the Nether Wastes, because this is where you can make some good farms. There's the Crimson Forest there, and then there's also the Nether Fortress, which I'm sure I can do something with. So, without further ado, let's get some work done. For real this time, let's make a functional thing. So, let's go! I've come to realise that the Nether's not exactly easy. Now, I have started a few other projects up here. As you can see, I've got some soul sand and I am getting some nether wart under the way. This is for a very good reason, but first let's go and have a look down at my farm. I've created a multi-layer magma farm. Now, here's a really embarrassing thing. Didn't think about ghasts! I didn't think about ghasts! This is like This is like learning Minecraft all over again. This is really bad. So, several embarrassing things have happened that weren't just the ghasts. So, I didn't actually count. So, my first design, I put only 2 spaces. Now, if you have 2 spaces between your magma layers, the pigmen can't actually see the eggs. So, they spawn in and they don't go anywhere. You have to put 3 in. But then I thought, I'll be clever. And what I'll do is I'll just move one of the layers and one of them won't be as big. So this layer is correct. This is 3 high. But the one that you just saw above, I believe this is 4 blocks high. As far as I'm aware, I think ghasts can spawn in this particular layer because there's space for them. So, I mean, the fix for this is very easy. I just got to add a layer under this, no problem. But it's just mistake after mistake after mistake for this build. Honestly, it's getting bad, but I am getting to the point where I am ready to start building, and you can see the rates of this. They're not fantastic. Like, I know that, and I knew that when I decided to make it here and not on the roof. I knew that the rates weren't going to be great, but the pigmen are spawning and they are going to the middle. And I created a very temporary collection solution down here with some... Oh no! Did you see that? That was a mid-air deflection. Okay, ghasts are the most annoying thing. So, I've created a very temporary collection system, and it's, as you can see, it's doing pretty good. And this will all get crafted up into gold bars for a future piglin farm. But now that I've got this, I'm now ready to start... No. Bad. This is why people don't settle in the Nether, but I'm determined now. So, I've created the farm. That was the first thing. This actually dictates how big my base is going to be around it. So, what I'm going to try and do now is create the base hanging from the ceiling. Now, this means a few things. I need to make a platform, like a really big platform down here, because as I'm building, obviously blocks are going to be falling, and not only blocks, I'm going to be falling, and I've already fallen in the lava once, and I don't want it to happen again. So this spot here where all these zombie pigmen keep spawning, I need to get rid of this, and at the same time, I need a lot of netherrack, so I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, the reason I need a lot of netherrack is because I actually want to make my base, or part of the base color, out of red nether brick, which needs 2 things. 1 is netherrack, and 2 is nether wart. So between the 2, I can get enough resources to make lots of red nether brick. I don't think anyone really builds with this block. It's fairly new. It's not in this update, but No one really builds with it. I think it's a pain to... It's a bit of an odd colour for a start, and it's a bit strange as a building block as well. It doesn't really fit in. But with this build, it will. So I never thought I'd do this, but I need to make a mass nether wart farm, and I need a lot of netherrack. Really weird combination of things that I need in order to make this build. The blocks that I need are very strange. But for the most part, I've got the other stuff like stone and the cyan terracotta, all that stuff. So we need to go into another time lapse now of collecting the nether wart and collecting all the netherrack to get this job done, which means expanding this farm as big as possible. So let's give it a go. Everything was going okay until this moment. Honestly, some of the weirdest things I've ever said have come out of this farm. I had to tell my friend earlier that I had to get home because I had to replenish my warts. And they said, what? I was like, yeah, I'm growing some warts. Obviously, they didn't realize I was talking about Minecraft. And then I realized, yeah, that's a pretty weird thing to say, isn't it? So I have indeed replenished my warts several times, and I have grown a fair amount of warts. In fact, I think I've grown more warts in the history of anyone who's super warty. So the reason that I have all of these warts is for this exact reason. I want to create this block, and I feel like no one ever makes this block. I've not really seen it used in builds very much. But I'm about to change that. Red nether brick. And the great thing about this is they introduced some staircases and some slabs for this. So this is going to be the roof block for my nether build. However, I haven't actually got enough. Not nearly enough. It's actually really expensive. Look. So this is netherrack put into a furnace. So that's 2 stacks of netherrack, 2 stacks of warts, and that gives you 1 stack of red nether brick. So it's a very expensive block, which means I'm going to have to do a whole lot more farming, and I'm going to have to set up a lot of furnaces. Like so. I would use my super smelter, but it's actually kind of far away. So now I have the task of smelting netherrack. This is about as boring as it gets in Minecraft. This is the Minecraft equivalent of watching paint dry, having to smelt netherrack. And the great thing is, by removing big floating islands like I did over there, I actually have a almost infinite supply of netherrack, so I can terrain and collect resources at the same time. The paint is on, we're watching it dry, and it's slowly going ahead. At least it's starting to feel like this area is a bit more productive. I know this isn't a super smelter, and I have one back at my base, but it would just take so long going back and forth. I honestly can't believe I've spent hours doing this now. However, now that I have over a shulker box full of red nether bricks, it means I can get started on the base, finally. Now that the paint is still drying, I can get started. So we've got to hop down in here and let me briefly explain what we're going to be building. So from here, I'm going to cover up this farm and basically have an upside down mansion. It's still producing gold, by the way. I've actually, from just farming warts and stuff, I've actually got a fair amount of gold for what I want to do afterwards. Now, I'm probably not going to have, 1, enough resources, or 2, enough time to complete the whole thing, knowing what I want to do. But I should be able to get this front portion here done. So, without further ado, let's get into another time-lapse building. And for that, I'm going to need a giant platform, because I am not risking my items for this thing. So, let's begin. boy, found myself in a bit of a strange situation. Why does this look the most non-Minecrafty thing ever? I'm flying! So anyway, as you saw from the time-lapse, the very lengthy time-lapse I might add, I have started my mansion upside down in the nether. Now, I messed up quite a few things, but overall, not as much of a disaster as other things. Those things have been a tremendous difficulty, but I've managed. As soon as I hear them, I'm like, gust, and I go and I hunt them down, or they vanish on their own. Either way, I'm pretty pleased with how this has come out. Now, there is something I definitely have to do, which is spawn-proof it, because this is actually making my farm not very efficient. So you can see it is an exact replica of my mansion, just upside down. Now that is extremely difficult to build, and I've probably messed up quite a lot of things, but there's plenty of time to fix it. So instead of just the back not being done, it's going to be most of it not being done for a while. I'm hoping I can get side 1, side 2 done in an episode each. So surely this one, and this is a much, much smaller version of my mansion, okay? So this is like an exact replica of the main bit, the bit that I built first. However, look how small it is compared to the nether. This building just made the scary nether look teeny tiny. It doesn't look like it fits. The nether, okay, look, so I look around. Wow, look at that. It looks, oh, wow, it's such a long drop. It's massive. Tiny. It's absolutely tiny. And as such, there's not a huge gap between the bottom of the ceiling. That's really strange. The ceiling is at the bottom. And the lava. No. The main thing that I messed up was the distance. I thought I calculated how tall this was going to be, so I started here, because you really do have to start from the bottom. Working from up there downwards is just not realistic for building. Oh, they keep falling down. So I got it off by a few blocks, which is why I've had to dig into the ceiling just a little bit to reveal these bottom parts. But on the whole, not bad. Not bad at all. Just it's messing up my farm drops now. So what I'm thinking I'll do next episode is maybe make the other farm. So whatever other nether related farms I want to make, I'll make one here, I'll make one on the other side, and then build the mansion around it. I think that's the way to go here, seeing as that's what we've done with this one. We built this first, and then we built the mansion around it. And it is weird that they're just falling straight through the mansion. Do you know what? The ghasts are okay. You can deal with the ghasts. It's the blazes that are really quite an issue in this. There is so much work to be done in this part of the nether, and it's actually really, really lonely. Being out here all by myself isn't the most fun, and potentially I chose not the best location to entice people, but I'm thinking I can invite some people over here, see if they want to form like a nether colony over here, something like that. I think that would be cool. But this has been an extraordinarily hard-working episode. Not too much prankage, not too much of anything other than the grind this episode, and dealing with nether and all of its shenanigans. But we are definitely making some very heavy progress in this episode. So, all there is left to say is thank you very much for watching. I think you can see why this episode took such a long time, even if it is just growing my warts. So, thank you very much for watching. Maybe some of you who know mobs could tell me why these piglins are spawning in my netherwart farm. I don't really understand where they're spawning. There shouldn't be anywhere for them to spawn. I've got slabs here, carpet here, and then there's netherwart everywhere. But every now and again, piglin, random, no, ooh, and they hit hard. So that's it from me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.